So I live in Los Angeles, and I went to this party with my friend Pam, and we were going to leave the party, and she said to me, "Do you know who that was standing by the door?" I said, "No." She said, "That was Taylor Dayne." Do you know who Taylor Dayne is? No? She was a pop singer in the late 80s, early 90s. She sang "Love Will Lead You Back." She sang "Tell It to My Heart." Anyway, I love Taylor Dayne, and not ironically. I love Taylor Dayne. So I went back into the party, and I went up to her and I said, "Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, but I just have to tell you, I love your voice." And she just turned and said, "Yeah, I don't do that anymore." And then I looked over, and this other friend of mine was doubled over laughing at me. She was like, "Yeah, you just got dissed by Taylor Dayne." Didn't feel great. So I left the party. Then like 9 months passed, and I happened to be out to eat with that same friend of mine, Pam. And there was a party of 10 seated right behind us. You guys are not going to believe who was sitting there. Any guesses? Just think about, what's that? That's correct. It was Taylor Dayne. Pam said, "Oh my gosh, you have to say something to her." And I said, "No question." Because I still love Taylor Dayne. But I didn't know what to say to her. And then I realized the best thing that I could say to Taylor Dayne would be the exact same sentence that I said the first time. So I turned around, and I interrupted her entire dinner. And I said, "Excuse me. Sorry to bother you, but I just have to tell you, I love your voice." And she said, "My speaking voice?" And I said, "Yes." I was sitting here with my friend. I heard someone talking behind me. I said, "I need to turn around and compliment this person on their speaking voice." And what I didn't realize at the time was that Taylor Dayne was pursuing an acting career rather than a singing career, which I guess is why she was no longer accepting compliments on her singing voice. Then like a year passed. And at this point, I've told all of my friends about my run-ins with Taylor Dayne and how she's the easiest person in the world to run into. Like, I'm not even convinced that she's not here tonight. So I was at my writing partner, Kyle's house, and my phone rang, and it was Sarah Silverman. And at the time, Sarah was dating Jimmy Kimmel. And Sarah called and said, "Guess who's promoting a new CD on Jimmy's show tomorrow night?" You guys will not believe who it was. Yes, it was Taylor Dayne. You're good with patterns. Sarah said, I want you to come down to Jimmy's show tomorrow night. And I want you to say those exact same words that you said the other times. And I said, no question. But I didn't end up having to go to Jimmy's show the next night. Because that same day, that Sarah called me at Kyle's house. Kyle and I took a lunch break. We ordered lunch to be picked up. We walked across the street to the strip mall where the restaurant was. Kyle was walking in front of me. I was walking behind him. We walked up to the restaurant. He opened the door. He looked at this table. Then he looked back at me. Then he looked back at the table. And I was like, oh, yeah, of course she's here. And Kyle and I walked over to the counter where our food was waiting for us. And Kyle was just pacing back and forth, about to have a stroke. And I was like, what is your problem? And he said, nothing, I'm just really uncomfortable right now. And I said, why? And he said, because I know what's about to happen. And I said, yeah. And I can't wait to do it. I said, this has nothing to do with you. I said, this is between me and Taylor Dayne. I said, but what I do need you to do, when I go up and interrupt her lunch, I want you to take my cell phone and just point it in the general vicinity and videotape me talking to Taylor Dayne, just so I finally have proof. And Kyle said, okay. So I walked up to Taylor Dayne's table, and I said, excuse me. I'm sorry to bother you, but I just have to tell you, I love your voice. And she said, thank you. And I was like, oh, that was weird. But the best part was when Kyle and I went back and looked at that video footage, you didn't hear me talking to Taylor Dayne. You just heard Kyle in an imaginary conversation going, oh, hey. Hey, man, what's going on? I'm having lunch at the chicken cafe, at the at the California Chicken Kitchen Pizza Kitchen Cafe. So the person that Kyle made up in that conversation was the world's most difficult human being that will not let the easy stuff slide. The person on the other end of that call is going, whoa, 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 back up, dude. Where are you having lunch? At the Chicken What Cafe? No, man, I've never heard of that place. This conversation is going no further until you make it clear to me where exactly you're having lunch right now. I feel confident that I'm the reason that Taylor Dayne ended up putting out another record. Because you know she called her manager and was like, my fans miss me. They love me. I mean, sure, they're a bunch of he-she-looking robots. Excuse me. Sorry to bother you. But I just have to tell you, I love your voice. Excuse me. I'm sorry to bother you. But I just have to tell you, I love your... Excuse me. Just as a side note, I left out other times that I ran into Taylor Dayne.
Tig Notaro. Tig Notaro. Her website, Tig Nation. Her podcast, Professor Blastoff. Her newest CD, Good One. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Taylor Dayne.
For the rest of my days, 'cause you have won my heart and my soul. She's so defiant with her sweet, sexy ways. You gave me her when I needed someone near. You bring me happiness every day of every year. And I'll always love you for all that you are. You know the words. You have made my life complete because you're my lucky star. And you are the one I see in diners, in coffee beans, and my speaking voice. 'Cause you are my everything. Tell me who could ask for more? I always love you. 'Cause honey, this will never end. I need you by my side, baby. 'Cause you're my friend. We'll leave the love around. I'll always love you. 'Cause I'm so happy that you're mine. She's with me now. Show them what you got, Tig. Let's go. Oh, I'll always give it to them good. 'Cause I will always, yeah, I will always love you. Forever. You like that singing voice? I love you, love my voice. I will love you. She's my haunting forever, ever, 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 ever. That was in LA and New York. We saw each other all the time. Give it to me. He. Oh. 'Cause it's always.
Taylor, I love your voice.
I love it too.
Taylor Dayne.
Thank you.
Taylor Dayne.